Greetings and welcome to this edition of
Positronic Hypersonic.
I'm Barry P. Cook, and I'm here to talk to you about the latest episode of Star Wars, The Acolyte. It was called Day, and as it starts, on Kofar, Wookiee Master Kalnaka, who apparently has been incommunicado for a year, moves about his home where some odd drawings are on the walls, and May and the apothecary guy, whose name I guess is Kimar, set off into the woods to kill Master Kalnaka, which May needs to do without a weapon to fulfill her master's instructions. On Coruscant, Osha talks with Jeki before heading off to leave the planet, her innocence having been proven, while Saul and other Jedi discuss May and her threat level and the larger issue of learning who her master is. Saul approaches Osha to ask her to join him in finding May since he feels it'll facilitate her being brought in, and she agrees to go along. Upon arriving on Koshar, the Jedi determine that Kalnaka is likely located in a certain direction, and they go about finding him by use of a creature named Basil, who is apparently a Tynan Padawan who has bloodhound-like abilities. Along the way, Osha speaks with Yard and tells him that she wants him to deal with May if she doesn't listen to her and surrender, because Osha would likely hesitate again, but she doesn't want May to get away. Basil senses danger in the woods where odd flying creatures wrap themselves around the trunks of very tall trees, and Saul takes one out as it attacks. May and Kamir take a break from their trek, and May expresses frustration with the expectation of her master that she kill a Jedi without a weapon. Basil seems to go missing, and May tricks Kamir into getting caught in a trap before telling him that she's realized during their run through the forest that what matters to her is her sister, and that she's going to forsake her master and surrender herself to Master Kanaka. Osha tells Saul that since being on the planet, she seems to have developed the courage to face her sister, but Saul tells her that she won't be facing her sister and that they both instead will be facing their past, which he'll apparently tell her more about once they get May to the ship. May runs into Basil while heading to Master Kanaka's, and he alerts the Jedi that he's found her, causing them to run in the direction of his screams. And as May gets to Master Kanaka's house, she finds him already dead, apparently by lightsaber, and deduces that it must have been her master who did it. The Jedi call out to May and order her to exit Kanaka's house with her hands raised, as her master shows up right behind the Jedi descending from the trees, at which point he approaches Osha, igniting his lightsaber, causing all of the Jedi to ignite their lightsabers and rush him, but he easily blows them back with the Force just after having moved Osha to the side, also using the Force. And that's where the episode ended. So, I actually liked this episode. I thought it was good Star Wars. Now, good is not great. I did not think it was great Star Wars. But I did think it was good Star Wars, just as I thought last week was good Star Wars, which was different from how I felt about the first two episodes, which I thought were mediocre to bad Star Wars or bad to mediocre Star Wars. And, I'm happy that I liked it. I don't want to be disappointed with an awful show, which I thought I was going to be after the first two episodes, which, like I said, thought were mediocre at best. So my feeling now is that there is a story here and that it's interesting and that I like how it's unfolding. And when I say I like that, I'm saying the needle has moved a little bit for me. But again, it's still not great. I think the story is still kind of thin, at least the part about the sisters. I mean, we know they're sisters, we know they're twins, we know that as they were growing up, they were close until they both thought the other had died. And so I want to see them reconnect. I want to see them find each other again and be able to be happy. And of course, if May has misgivings about what she's doing, about the path she's on with this obviously evil master, then obviously you want her to escape that. So I think it's good that she has decided to do that now. And I think it's good that the reason she decided to do that is because she wants to get back together with her sister and be happy like they were before what happened, or happy-ish, because they always were arguing. So I'm happy about that. The thing is, it feels rushed, right? Because she just up and decides in the middle of this trek through the woods in kind of like a single aha moment that she doesn't want to do this anymore, where right up to that point she seemed very committed. So I feel it kind of came out of nowhere. I get it. I get that she's only just learned her sister's still alive. And I don't know, maybe it took some time to hit her. for her to absorb it. So I guess we can look at it that way, but the way they handled it, the way they executed it, it just seems like it's come out of nowhere. They didn't really get across what the foundation for it was, and I think that's not great. I think the actress did a much better job in this episode of portraying the two characters as distinct people. I believed that they were distinct people this time around. And I'm warming up to Master Saul. I'm finding that I like his character a little better and I like the actor's portrayal a little bit better, though I think that it's not quite up to snuff. And I think, some of the dialogue they've given these Jedi is a little bit clunky, a little bit basic. I still don't like the Yord character, though I do like Jecki. I think she's cool. Two other things I didn't like is that they sent a whole lot of Jedi on this mission to Kofar to get May, and I didn't find that to be consistent with what, the Jedi Order has done in the past when it comes to sending Jedi on missions. And also, they're going to have to explain to me how this one master pushed back like 12 Jedi all at once. I mean, I suppose one powerful gust of the Force could do that, but I don't know. It just seemed shocking to me. So maybe because and that's where the episode cut off. So maybe when the next one starts, we'll see that the 12 Jedi just take him out in a split second because that would make sense, right? But I don't think they're going to do that. So I don't know. I think that's a problem for next week. I want to stick to this week, and sticking to this week, I thought it was a good episode, solid episode, better than mediocre, an improvement on last week, which was itself an improvement on the previous week, even though, and this is the second of my last two things that I didn't like, they killed Master Kalnaka. Like, you got a Wookiee Jedi, which I think is badass, and they killed him, just like they did Carrie Moss. So now 3 of the 4 Jedi are dead. Only Saul remains, and May's decided she's not going to do it. So it's going to be a fight between Saul and the Master, who we still don't know the identity of. But I'm down for the ride. I am finding that the show is good. Not great, good, and that it's gotten better incrementally since the first episode. And I say again, I'm happy about that because who wants to be disappointed by a Star Wars show? I don't. I've been there already because of Obi-Wan Kenobi, which was awful, or half awful anyway. And I'll be happier if this show turns out to be okay. And I think it's improving, and I'm looking forward to the rest of it. The funny thing is, it would already be over by now if they hadn't cut these episodes to like 40 minutes apiece. So I guess there are 3 final things I find annoying because that's one of them, the length of the episodes. I wish the episodes were longer so we could get more of the story each week. But of course, that reduces the overall number of weeks that the show runs and therefore decreases the subscription months that viewers have to purchase in order to see the whole thing. So there you go. Anyway, that's really all there is to say. So I'm going to get out of here. I'll be back to do a breakdown and review of the next episode once it's released. Until I return, may the Force be with you.